Infernal Blessings. As I said, I'll come back and do another one. Stop pulling off from the 9 rounds. Actually, I'm going to go back to the house. I don't got to go to the office. But anyway, just throw out there, for those that reach out and email me, how can they sign up for my classes, or how do I do my classes? They want to take classes. Again, as I say always, Patreon. You want to go to the official Primordial Chaos Patreon page, which is at patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti. That's patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti. Tier 3 is the way to go. Tier 3 gives you access to the 3 private classes I do every month on Patreon for Patreon members only. We go in much more in depth and detail on Patreon than I do here on YouTube. It's very personalized. It's very in depth. I also have a mentorship program on there if you want to take on a one-on-one mentorship with me to really advance your magic, your left hand path practices. If you want to take it to that next level, there's a mentorship program on tier, I believe it's tier 5. But again, only sign up for the mentorship program if you're really willing to invest, not just the money. It's not just about the money, but the time, the effort, the energy, because it's time. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want you to waste my time. We have a bunch of ongoing series and classes on there. We're up to 18 shadow work classes deep and counting. We have Luciferian Magic and Self-Mastery class ongoing. We have Ancient Egyptian Vampiric classes on there ongoing. Sith classes ongoing. We just started a Qlippothic Sorcery class, which I'm going to talk about the Qliphoth in this video. We just did a phenomenal class this past Saturday. And even for those on Patreon that are watching this, hopefully you got a chance to watch the upload if you weren't there live. Watch class number 8 in the Kundalini Meditation and Awakening class. We went into a lot of stuff, spirit possession, raising the Kundalini, things of that nature. But a bunch of ongoing series. Check it out. That's the best way to get involved in the classes that I do here on Primordial Chaos. Go to the Patreon page, patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti. If you are interested in a spiritual reading or a consultation, I offer various different readings: Qlippothic demonic readings, Santa Muerte readings, Egyptian oracle readings, shadow work readings, which is an awesome place to start if you're looking for a sense of purpose, direction, or you're not sure what you should be doing when it comes to ritual work or what direction you should be going in on your spiritual journey. Shadow work reading will help you with that. Deity readings, not to worship the deities, not to get your ego stroked and say, I'm a son of this and a daughter of that, you know, all that fluffinator shit. It's to help you understand with the energies and the spirits and the demonic energy that walks with you, so you can better understand yourself and establish a stronger connection with those spirits. All right, for any of the aforementioned, reach out to me at khnum19@gmail.com. And everything I said is in the description box of all the videos. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about in this video. I mentioned it in the previous one. I told you I'd elaborate a little bit more in this video, since we were talking about Samael in the last video. Another thing that's becoming and growing increasingly in the last few years is a lot of people's interest and fascination in working with the Qliphoth. Be careful, like everything else, and I'm going to have to keep putting these disclaimers. There's some people that absolutely don't know what the fuck it is, because if you listen to them talk about it, there's people that pretend they do. Jersey Mike's, I'm about to eat my Jersey Mike's. There's people that pretend they do, and there's people that moose it. What do I mean by moose it? Moose it's a term I've been using going back years. It's the same we used to say back in the day. When somebody's faking the funk, as we say nowadays, pretending like they know what they're talking about. Well, we got a lot of mooses and faking the funk people when it comes to the Qliphoth. And again, some people just downright don't know. Now, what the Qliphoth is and kind of what it's not, okay? Let's talk about first what it's not. Is it intense work? Is it going to challenge you? Is it going to open up portals to your psyche that you never imagined were there on all different levels? Is there going to be such a influx of emotions that you will have to learn to facilitate and deal with. Is it great transformational change? It's all of those things, right? But again, like a lot of other stuff that's sometimes promoted on the occult and the left-hand path, it's not all gloom and doom, okay? It's tough. It's challenging work. You're gonna unlock a lot of things in your psyche. You're gonna have to face what the term you hear people say in psychology, your personal demons, right? You're gonna have to deal with the real deep, dark, hidden aspects of your shadow or your hidden self, okay? And doing shadow work and uncovering the hidden self, as we've said a million times, is about bringing all those things to the surface about the true self, good and bad, but really addressing the bad things, quote unquote, to you, or the things that are causing obstructions in your life, problems, issues, and chaos, and learning how to alleviate, destroy, annihilate those things, and then replace it with something productive, okay? Now, some will say, is the Qliphoth the Demiurge? What is the Demiurge? Yes, I'm okay with breaking down I wouldn't say it's the Qliphoth, but let's talk real quick about the Demiurge, because there's a lot of different explanations out there. Now, I don't believe it's a place where you can go and there's some beings, archons, that you are inferior to, and they can eat, devour, and destroy you, because that sounds like religious hell to me, okay? I don't subscribe to that ideology, nor do I embrace it, nor do I teach it. I think that's just somebody's personal perspective. There's that floating around. So no, I don't teach people that there's a place called the Demiurge and you can get eaten by archons. That shit sounds fucking foolish to me, okay? But is the Demiurge, it's a lower vibrational frequency realm that exists in your subconscious mind, where you can manifest low vibrational frequency beings that can cause chaos in your life. The Demiurge is a self-created hell that you create in your mind. Just like the Qliphoth is tapping in to the deep recesses and deep depths of your subconscious mind, where the real shadow and the hidden self resides, the real you. It's where the real personal daemon, the real self, is trying to emerge. But when we are ignoring the fact of the shadow and the hidden self, we're suppressing it. And as I said, with that resistance comes a stronger persistence. So you can't run from the shadow or the hidden self. It's going to catch up to you. So when you're going into the Qliphoth, you're working with different, and I'm going to use terms, they'll call them cliffs or husks of the tree, symbolic, right? You're working with different portholes and tunnels, like even what the tunnels are set, which I'm not going to talk about here in this video, which is connected to the Qlippothic work. I'll address that in a later video. You're opening up portholes and aspects of your subconscious mind that connect you to the power of your subjective consciousness, that open you up to a world that is beyond three-dimensional, that's controlled and confined by person, place, or thing. So when you're going into the Qliphoth, you are voluntarily going into a state of existence that's outside of three-dimensional person, place, and thing. When you're doing your ritual work, Qlippothic meditations, and other ritual work that's designed, whether it be astral travel or out-of-body experiences, you're voluntarily invoking demons and spirits and doing ritual work to connect with them on that higher frequency or realm. I love to use the word vibrational frequency because sound, vibration, and frequency is one of the key formulas of how you connect with your spirits. Okay? So when one is going into the Qliphoth, this is the other question that comes up. And this is one of the reasons, again, that was a bit of an inspiration to do this video. I get a lot of emails throughout the years. If I'm working with the Qliphoth, should I work with the Kabbalistic tree or the Kabbalah, right? And this has always been my answer to that since day one. Is it necessary to do full-blown work with the Kabbalistic tree or the Kabbalah? Because remember, the Qliphoth or the Qliph is the antithesis to the Kabbalistic tree, the tree of life. And when you look at, you have the tree of life, which deals with those things governed from the physical realm trying to connect to the spiritual, where the tree of the Qliph, or the Qliphoth, what they say is the antithesis to the tree of life. Some say it's the tree of death. I don't even like to call it that, because it's the tree of the Qliph in the spiritual abode. Those things beyond person, place, or thing. Death, how some Kabbalah scholars will label it, or Hebrew mystics will label it, they make it sound like it's some negative thing, because again, you gotta remember, they're coming from a Hebrew mystical, kind of Judaic, influential perspective, and I'm not coming from that, okay? So is it necessary or mandatory to do full-blown work with the Kabbalistic tree? No. I do suggest, and I've addressed this because this questions come up in different classes and videos over the year, I do suggest that you at least have understandable knowledge of what the Kabbalistic tree is, and how it works and how it functions, so you have an understanding of how that'll connect and strengthen your work of the Qlippothic tree. So, long story short, yes, you should have a certain level of at least that minimum knowledge. Now, if you want to explore the work, that's entirely up to you. Is it mandatory? Absolutely not. Okay, so you make that decision. So hopefully that puts that to rest. It's that personal option. My only suggestion, again, would be at minimum, have at least some working knowledge of how the Kabbalistic tree works. You're going to need it to understand some aspects of the Qliph. A good book would be the book by Baal Cadman, who gives you a good understanding of both. The Sitra Achra. It's a long title. Just Google Sitra Achra. It'll come up. I can't remember the full long title. He gives a good breakdown of both sides of the tree. If you're looking for a good foundational book to understand it better from both sides, that's the book I would probably recommend, because it's not just dealing with Kabbalistic Hebrew mysticism. He connects the Kabbalistic tree and then works his way on over and gives you an understanding of the Qlippothic tree. All right? But like anything else, what one needs to be very aware of when they're working with the Qlippothic tree, because of the multitude of beings, demons, and spirits that you are working with, Beelzebub, Adramelech, Lucifer, Samael, Naama, etc. Each one, because of what this represents in activating the psyche, each one you're going to be working with in different aspects as you go through different parts of the Qliph. And the Qlippothic tree is set up, as I said in the previous video, with Lucifer or Samael and Lilith as the facilitators of the tree. They control the flow of everything that operates on that tree. Now, when you look at the bottom of the Qlippothic tree, if you've ever seen a diagram, you see Lilith and Naama right there at the bottom as you get into that 10th, going into the 11th Qliph. That's Sitra Achra. Once you've worked your way in working with those demons through those aspects of the Qliph, and you get to that end part, that's going through the void. That represents you are now have elevated and you have tapped into a level of your intellect, your subconscious aspect of your subconscious mind, and you are going into the void, the abyss, where now you've reached a state of consciousness where there are no parameters that govern that state of consciousness. There's no beginning, there's no end. It can't be measured or gauged. It can't be calculated by any mortal form of time. Time doesn't exist when you tap in on that realm. Linear time only exists on this realm that we're confined to and controlled by and indoctrinated by, which is three-dimensional person, place, or thing. Religions deal with the 1, 2, 3 person, place, or thing. God, devil, man. Holy book, scripture, angel, prophet. Right? I mean, the list goes on. And see, they repetitiously teach you on three-dimensional realm ABCs, 1, 2, 3s. It's always done in sets of 3s, and it's done for a reason, repetitiously, because that's how the subconscious mind can be controlled. They know this. Symbolism and other things play a factor, but you have to break all that construct of programming that you've been indoctrinated with, and that awakening can be very painful. That when that Kundalini starts rising and that serpent energy rises up from the base of the spine, and you start to really activate and awaken all your chakra centers, and that crown becomes open, you are now receptive to receive these whole light beings, or these demons, or these spirits, to increase, quote unquote, as a Luciferian would say, your illumination. Okay? The Qliphoth is one of the most powerful forms of awakening or illumination, but it's a journey. It's work, as everything else is on this path. But the benefits and the rewards of that work is beyond something. Sorry about that. Is beyond something that can be basically put into words. Okay, it's not something that's easily put into words. It's the best thing that I could say. It's something with a lot of things that you have to do on this path. Experience. Remember, the only way you're going to learn certain things, if they're for you, if they're not, and even sometimes if you're ready, like I was saying a few days ago, you can't never be 100% ready. So please don't email me. Do you think I'm ready to work with the Qliphoth? Do you think I'm ready to work with Seven? Do you think this or that? I can't tell you that. I will suggest this: if you have too many reservations and doubts, and you keep using that verbiage, do you think, that sets off a lot of vibes of, no, I don't think you're ready. I think how you know when you're ready for certain things, you're just 100% certain and you're motivated just to dive in and experiment. That's when you know you're 100% ready. But when you're questioning it too much, second guessing it, trying to get 3, 4, 5 different opinions, that's a red flag to me. You're probably not ready for it. But again, it's not my job to tell you if you are or you're not, and it's not my job to tell you what you should and should not do. I will just put a suggestion out there, because I don't tell people to do something, because then if they fail, it doesn't work, you're not going to shift that blame on me. Okay? I'm not going to be, well, you told me to do it. No, I didn't tell you to do it. So this is why some people take it personal. Don't take it personal if you email me and you're not getting the answer you want. It's for your benefit. You're not going to put that burden on me. I'm not going to be the one that, if it doesn't work for you, because and it ain't going to have anything to do with me. It could be something you did wrong, but you ain't going to use me as your focal point for the blame game. So that's the answer to that question. Okay? So when you're navigating and journeying through the Qliphoth, a lot of these bands, like I said, the aforementioned, you're working with a lot of these bands of the void and the abyss. These really hardcore occult demonic entities that are the foundation of this path. And this is why most fluffinators don't know about the Qliphoth. This will expose a real fluffinator that's pretending to be occult or left-hand path. Because if you're really left-hand path, I'm just saying, and yes, this is my opinion to a degree. You don't have to agree with it, but I got to call it for what it is. A real, genuine left-hand path practitioner should have good knowledge of the Qliphoth if they're really on this path. Nothing is mandatory on this path. I'm not saying it's mandatory. I'm not saying they have to this or that. But what I am saying, you should. It's a telltale sign if you don't know about it. That's going to raise my antennas and my eyebrows a bit. It's going to make me look at you a little suspect. Okay? Because if you are what I like to call one of those fence straddlers, you don't want to work on the Qliphoth straddling, experimenting, testing. Let me do a little dibble dabble. You're going to get yourself fucked up. This is definitely work. Definitely. And it stands out beyond a lot of other stuff. This is not work you want to just dibble dabble in and fake the funk and straddle the fence. It will get you jammed up. Okay, on a psychological, mental, and emotional level. And it'll bring such disruptive and sometimes destructive change that you may not be prepared or ready for, because you were playing games, wanting to play occult, wanting to play a left-hand path, when you really understand how the Qliphoth works. Okay? And I haven't even gotten into the tunnels of Set. That's something else. We'll address that later. Let's deal with the Qliph first. Right? Be like anything else. What's the advice? What's the advice is simple. Do your due diligence. Prepare. Make yourself aware. Study the knowledge. You can't always reach out to somebody. Am I ready? You think I should do this? Should I? I don't. Nobody can answer that but you. You can get 50 different opinions. Somebody could say this, that, the other, or the third. But that ain't going to really give you the solid answer you need to see if you're really ready or prepared. So don't take it lightly. I'm almost at my destination, so I'm about to wrap this up. Okay, all right, we good. Within 20-something minutes. Don't take it lightly. Be serious about your work. Be dedicated. Go into it with the right frame of mind. Remember, your approach is gonna determine how your intent is. If you got a sloppy ass approach to your work, I can tell you your intent is all fucked up. That's gonna be my next video. Intent, rituals, that just came to me. But anyway, so approach it with your due diligence, your awareness. All these things is the way you need to approach these things. But in essence, briefly, if you're gonna work with the Qliph, it is one of the ultimate methods or practices to really uncover the shadow of the hidden self, and to really ritualistically work with these demons and spirits or gods and goddesses, the different terms we use, to master yourself. This is definitely a system that will do that. And again, like everything else, it's not for everybody, people. So sometimes maybe it's just not for you. Okay? It's just not for you. But you're gonna have to go through a process of experimentation to figure it out. Alright? Alright, having said that, I'm gonna wrap this one up. I think I'm gonna shoot one more a little bit later. I'm gonna keep flooding the channel with content, and going through this. So hopefully this just foundational video, the Qliphoth, gave you a little information. Again, I encourage people to check out the Patreon page, the official Primordial Chaos Patreon page, patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti. Tier 3 is the way to go. That's where it'll give you access to my monthly classes. I do 3 every month, exclusively for Patreon members only. And one group ritual, Tier 3. That's the tier you want to join. And if you're interested in a spiritual reading or a consultation, reach out to me at khnum19@gmail.com, khnum19@gmail.com, and I will send you that information. All right? Infernal blessings, and we will talk soon.